Welcome back, everyone. I am coming at you with another bread recipe, except this time I'm going to try the Kneady Homesteaders cinnamon raisin bread. This is the recipe that I just got done making, which was just basic white bread, in case anybody can't get it at the store. Something I said at the end of the video was spread butter all over it if you want it to be like Wonder Bread and have a softer crust for sandwich, and there's the proof on that. So, I never made this kind before. You actually braid it and everything, but we're going to give it a whirl. So, let me get situated. Okay, hands are clean. KitchenAid. We are going to need 2.5 cups, no, not 2.5, the 1.5 cups of warm water and the 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, which is right here all bubbly and proofy. I'm probably going to need a spoon to have to scrape it all out. Get all that yeast out of there. Dump it right into your KitchenAid. This has been sitting for a little bit. My kitchen was warm while I made the basic white bread in case anyone's homebound or they can't get it at the supermarket. Okay, so that recipe's done. Now we're moving on to the Kneady Homesteader cinnamon raisin bread. So that was the 1.5 cups of warm water with the 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar. That was already in there with the yeast. We need 2 tablespoons of soft butter, 1 teaspoon of salt. So let's start off with the 4 cups of bread flour. Let's start off with that. And get that in here. That is 1. 2. 3. And 4. That is how I measure my flour. This is bread flour, by the way, as well, but that is how I measure it. Okay, so we have the yeast and the sugar in there. With, let me see, we have the 4 cups of bread flour, 2 tablespoons of milk powder. I'm actually looking at a recipe right now. Let's make sure I don't forget anything. So, 2 tablespoons of milk powder. 1. And 2. This type of bread gets braided, so I've never really made this recipe before. And it's 1 teaspoon of salt, so let me get that. 1 teaspoon of salt. If you look at her recipe, there's a typo. Somebody has a tablespoon, but it's actually a teaspoon. So that's the salt in. We need 2 tablespoons of softened butter. There is the butter. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. She also puts 1 tablespoon of honey. So let's see. Let's do the vanilla first. Oh, here's the vanilla. I'm going to use the cinnamon sugar for the top. My other recipe started off great. My battery died and I had to pick it up. This time it's saying my battery is 100%. Let's just hope so. I know you guys can't see exactly in the bowl just yet, but I will show you. I'm just adding everything right into the KitchenAid. And let's see. 1 tablespoon of honey. I think I have a fresh thing of honey. Actually, I have some left in here that I would like to use up. So let's use the rest of this honey up. Which will end up coming out to the right amount anyway. Bingo, waste not, want not. That's just to make it a tiny bit sweeter. And we don't put any cinnamon in yet. So it's 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of softened butter, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay. 2 tablespoons of milk powder, we did that. 1.5 cups of warm water, we did that because that's with the yeast. 1 tablespoon of honey, we did that. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 4 cups of bread flour, we did that. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this turns out. So this is what it looks like with everything in the bowl. And we're going to turn it on. That's actually just 1. I don't even have it up to 2 yet. Mix it until it all comes together and away from the bowl. The KitchenAid is so loud, I say that all the time. Let me bring it closer so that you can see. Now I'm starting to pull away from the bowl. Once the bowl is completely cleaned and this is mixed thoroughly, we will be turning it up to 2, and we are going to knead that for 5 minutes. I just want to show you how it all is away from the bowl. Now we're going to turn it on 2, and we are going to let it knead until it's smooth. So I don't want to drown this out with how loud the mixer is, so I will bring you right back as soon as it kneads for 5 minutes. Okay, I just want to show you what it's starting to look like. Starting to get a lot smoother than it was. And that's how you can tell. We have 2 minutes left on the clock. And I will bring it back as soon as it's done kneading. Here we go. It's nice and smooth. A little bit more on the side's a little bit more smoother than that side, but it all comes together. I'm just going to kind of sit you like this. I rewashed my bowl from a previous video of making the white bread. I have some olive oil in here. We are going to get the dough out. My hands are clean. And this is the dough. Look at how glorious this dough is. Fantastic. So, all I'm going to do is just bring this together into a ball. And in case you didn't see the last video of making white bread, you just keep turning it and you pinch it. This dough is going to go in an olive oil bowl. You can roll it around on your counter to get it smoother. It's going to go into the olive oil bowl. Put it down, flip it over like that so that it's thoroughly coated in olive oil. And we are going to let this rise for 1 hour. So let me get my hands washed from touching that oil. And then I want to cover it up. So what I'm going to do is just throw a thin tea towel over it. Did I flip this back over? Let me check. There we go. You can cover it, saran wrap, tea towel. Just put it in a warm spot, which would be your microwave, as long as you don't turn it on. There it is. I'm going to put it on the stove. Like I said, you can use your microwave, but you don't turn it on. You could use your oven if it wasn't preheating right now, with just the light on in the oven, but obviously not if you have your oven on. And that is all the ingredients for the Kneady Homesteaders cinnamon raisin bread. And now we just have to wait for it to rise for 1 hour. For you guys, it'll be a minute. For me, it'll be an hour. Maybe it'll rise faster. We'll see. And I will bring you back as soon as it doubles in size. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, people. There it is. We are going to get started. This is getting kind of late here. I'm basically going to do it right there. So, let me set you guys up the best I can, as usual. Let me see. How's that? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it out onto the counter. But I also need 1 egg white. Actually, it's 1 egg yolk, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here, just 1 egg. Yeah, just 1 egg. Tablespoon of water. So I'm going to crack that first. Give it a little whisk with a little bit of water. This will be for the top. Now my pan is smaller than what the Kneady Homesteader did, so I will try my best. Where is... Oh, this whole moving thing's got me all thrown out of whack. completely. Let's see where my pastry brush. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so enough of me in the camera. Right there on that counter. We are going to get started. It is clean. Oven's on 350. Okay, so you don't really need flour. I'm just going to put a little bit next to me just in case. Oh, that's warm. Slightly. Sticky. Now let me get the rolling pin, because we're going to roll it out. I was thinking to myself, if this ends up being really big, I might split it for 2 pans. Oven's preheated. So, all I'm doing is just trying to roll it out. Now, I'm assuming that this will be somewhat like it is when you make any other bread if you want to roll it out, or roll it up, I should say. So I never did this before, so bear with me. Might not look as fancy or as great as hers, but I will try my darndest. Now she has a big Pullman pan. I do not. This is probably in your way. So that's why I was thinking about possibly splitting it. We'll see how that goes. And look at that, it's sticking a little bit. You don't want that. Sticking big time. Felt like the bottom it got a little warm. So just a little flour. I don't want it to stick. So now I'm just checking. See if it's sticking anywhere else. And now I'm going to have to fix this. Might be done with the rolling pin, we shall see. But I want to take this in some, because I think that that's a little too long for my liking. And I'm hoping that you don't stick. So basically, from what I understand, as you roll it out, and then you're going to be rolling it as if you would cinnamon rolls. It's the best way that I can describe this. Okay, this part doesn't look the greatest right here, but I don't want to go any thinner. So we are gonna wing it and do the best that we can do. Let me go over this part again. Okay, we're just gonna have to go for it. Now, we need powdered sugar. Just checking to see if my stove top is hot. Let me put this back. She sprinkles it, the whole dough, with powdered sugar. Until she doesn't see any dough, she says. If you haven't seen that video, go to the Kneady Homesteaders page, which obviously this will make a mess, but she tells you on there that she basically just covers it till she doesn't see any dough. Whatsoever. This is going to be everywhere. It's snowing all over the kitchen. I'm taking it even to the ends as far as I possibly can. As you very well know, I don't have the biggest kitchen. But I've made a lot of good food in this kitchen over the last 12 years. And with the coronavirus and everything going on, I have no idea where I'm moving to still, because you can't really get out there, considering they want you to kind of stay away. So it's hard to look for a place under the circumstances. That looks pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit more on the end here. I've never made this type of cinnamon bread before, so this should be interesting. So this is either going to work or this will be an epic fail. But we will try and see how it goes. Okay, that's the powdered sugar. Let me grab my big thing of cinnamon. Wanted to pull out the big container. Ground cinnamon goes all over the entire thing. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Sprinkle away. Okay. All right. I think that looks about good. And then she says to take a water bottle and just spritz it. And I'm assuming so that it adheres to the dough. Okay, that's that. Now, what else? I think we start rolling it. We did the powdered sugar and the cinnamon. The cinnamon sugar top sprinkle. Okay. Oh boy. I have this Pioneer Woman pan, which it's not my favorite. I feel like things stick a little bit more in this pan, and I like my Rachel Ray. So I'm trying to decide, which I think I'm going to start at this end. And I'm just going to start trying to roll it. Just got to try to take your time. Try to roll it tightly, best that you can. A little concerned about that end down there. I'm really hoping it don't stick. And maybe this will all go into one pan. We shall see. Some of it's stuck on the bottom here. Just little pieces. Which I've kind of figured that was going to happen. So I'm going to try to lift this up the best I can. That looks pretty big. I'm going to pull it over and I'm going to start pinching it. Just don't remember if she tucked the sides in or not. That I don't remember. But I know that, no, I don't think she does because she cuts it. So you just want to take your time, grab the dough from underneath and just try to pinch it the best that you can. Because it's a little wet. Oy, oy, oy. I'm going to have to probably turn this diagonal in order to cut it. We shall see how this goes. Wish me luck. Hopefully this is a sharp knife. Cut it straight down the middle. Hopefully this knife is sharp enough. I will just double check and go through it one more time. And then now you pinch the top together. And then what you want to do is start twisting it. So I put that one over. That one's there. Ugh. We'll see how my braiding skills are. You can see the layers on the inside. It is amazing. And then when you get down to the end, she said you do the same thing, you pinch it. Now what I'm thinking which will most definitely mess up the braid, is I'm thinking of cutting it in half, because that's never going to fit in this pan. So without screwing it up, let's try to go as even as possible. And then I don't want to take any chances. Excuse me, guys. I didn't want to move these around a whole lot while I was doing this. This is what it looks like. Braid it. There's the layers that she talked about. I'm just going to try to go for 2 pans. So let me put you back here so that you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. I had a spray. Oh, I'm going to spray. This one is not my favorite pan by the Pioneer Woman. I like her, but I feel like things stick in her pans. Whew. So I sprayed hers a little liberally. And now I'm going to try to lift this up and put it in here the best that I can. I don't know. This is the pinched part. Doesn't really look like much of anything right now, but we shall see. Now this one, that one, at least the braids are slightly better. I don't want to fuss with it too much. Okay. Grab a towel. So now we're going to give it the egg wash. Like I said, I'm not going to mess with that too much. I'm just not. This would be really sweet if you have an elderly neighbor next door that you actually know well enough, or you have their phone number and could just tell them it's at their front door. So definitely need a bigger pan. I've been wanting the Pullman pan for some time. I just haven't gotten it yet. I think that that's pretty well coated. And now it is cinnamon sugar, and I have some made up from when I did my cinnamon rolls. So that is what's going across the top. And these will rise again for the second time. Every once in a while you find a clump. This will rise for the second time for 30 minutes. The oven is definitely preheated. It already beeped at me. Well, at least I tried. I think if I had the right pan, it would be a different story. So I'm just covering this with cinnamon sugar over top of the egg whites. If I find a clump, I just throw it into the sink. I like lots of cinnamon sugar. That's the point of all this, isn't it? There you have it. Oops. Missed a whole pretty big area. Okay. Now, let me show you what it looks like. Because now it's going to rise. It's not glorious. That's the one. And that's the second one. And now it has to rise for 30 minutes. And then we'll be popping it in the oven. So it'll be like a minute for you and 30 minutes for me. Okay, YouTube. I cleaned up my entire mess. The breads are covered. And now we will wait. It's probably about 25 minutes now, which will be a minute for you. But I wanted to get that all cleaned up. That's how I bake in a very small kitchen. Words of the wise, clean up as soon as you make the mess. Okay, see you in a minute. Well, here it is, ladies and gents. It has risen. I don't know. Probably should have. Wait, let me see if you guys are even seeing it. Probably. Yep, I was holding the camera wrong way. Sorry, guys and gals. So they have risen, and now I'm going to put them in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. And like I said, if you have not checked out the Kneady Homesteaders YouTube page, please go on over and do that. This recipe is on there. She just so happens to have a bigger pan. So it is in now, and I am going to set a timer, and I will bring you back as soon as it's done. Okay, everyone, my timer just went off. Ooh, not too shabby. Might not be as big and high as the Kneady Homesteaders, but it looks pretty fabulous. Let me check it and make sure that it's done. Wasn't too bad cutting it in half, because now you can give one to someone else. And I just want to make sure, because it says between 30 and 35 minutes. That's clean as a whistle. All done. So let me show you what it looks like. Don't forget, this is the Kneady Homesteaders cinnamon bread twist. So there's my one loaf. And I'm going to take a picture. And there is the other loaf. I definitely would like to get a Pullman pan. I think it would come out a little bit differently, but it doesn't look too bad. Let's see if I can dump one out. Like I said, you can go to her channel, her page, and see the same recipe, but I will try to leave either her link or the actual recipe in the description below. So, which one are we going to try to take out? Look at that. Look at how great that looks. Now I have to just flip it over. Just set you there for 1 second, because this is going to be hot, I'm sure. Now let's try to dump the other one out. See if this rack is big enough. Voila. Right out. It's great when you do your pans well enough so that things come right out. And there they are, ladies and gents. That's the Kneady Homesteader's cinnamon bread twist. I think it's a twist. I'm not sure. But I followed the instructions. Like I said, I just didn't have a long pan, but that's okay because I ended up getting 2 loaves out of it. So this would be like a great time with everybody staying in to maybe make this up and then give one to your neighbors or your neighbor. Unless your family members eat it all. But there you have it, guys. It's super late and I'm completely losing my voice. I don't want to sound like I'm completely unenthused because I am. Looking forward to this. I wonder if I should cut a piece. What do you think? I'm going to try to move you back here. I know you're not supposed to. You know, until it cools, but if you've seen my white bread video, just to help people out that maybe can't get their hands on white bread, I cut into that while it was hot, just for my viewers. So let me turn off my oven before I forget. And I think I'm going to try for that. So let me get a paper plate. Not to get burned. Now I just have to figure out how I'm going to cut it. Let me use a pot holder. Maybe I'm going to turn it this way. Let me fix the one leg. Good idea, right? It's just for crumbs. Yowza. Oh my goodness. Let me bring you closer. Total success, just in smaller loaves. Can you see that cinnamon all the way through that? Look at that. Well, that's a wrap. That looks amazing. Can't wait to taste it. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Like I said, go over to the Kneady Homesteader. She has this recipe posted. If I get a chance, I will leave the recipe down below. But don't forget, if you don't have the Pullman pan, you may be cutting it into 2 loaves like I had to. But amazing. Smells delicious in here. Better than a candle. Okay, guys. Until the next video. God bless, and I will see you soon.